have a very high success rate for students who take the foundation first before the masters. Okay, so it's important to compare our institution with other universities in the UK, especially on cost and duration of the courses. If you look at the table, it's also very important to point out that if you take a first degree with us, your bachelor's degree, and then you decide to take your second degree, the master's, you do get additional reductions in price as well. So instead of paying the £4,950 for your master's, we'd actually reduce that again to £2,950 for your second degree with us. Okay. So if you studied your bachelor's and your master's with us, you're looking at total fees of just over £10,000 for those 2 degrees. If you compare this to the average university in the UK, £33,000. And some of you charge up per year of study. You'll get about 2/3 of the price. It's also important to look at the duration. That can take up to 5 years at an average university, whereas we cut that time down to about 3 years. So it not only saves you on tuition fees, but also your living expenses and your rent for 2 years in London as well. So we're saving considerable amounts there. Okay, so just to conclude then, we not only provide cost-effective education, but we also provide a really good environment for you to study in the UK. Okay? London is a great city. I really would love for you to experience it yourselves. You'll have a great time, I'm sure. And it not only will increase your employment opportunities, whether you stay in the UK or come back to the Philippines or anywhere in the world, but it will also be an experience that you'll never forget and you can take with you for the rest of your lives. Okay, thank you very much for listening. Now I'd like to open up any questions. Stephanie will also join us, so please ask us any questions, anything that's concerning you, or anything you're not sure of.
To apply, there's only a few things that you should prepare for. First, that you complete an application form, which is downloadable from the college website, which is also available today as we leave, or as we finish the presentation, we can sit and talk. Second, that you submit your CV for an assessment, which outlines your educational and academic background, as well as your personal interests. We get to know a little bit more about you. Next, you also have to submit a notarized copy of your bachelor's degree diploma, your bachelor degree transcript of records, notarized if you're applying for a master's, or if you're applying for a bachelor's degree, notarized copy of your high school diploma and your high school transcript of records. Right? Next is the IELTS score, or the Pearson's test for English, or the TOEFL score. Also has to be notarized. We ask for the notarization of your documents so you do not have to DHL or FedEx it to London. So it saves you money. It's cheaper to get it notarized than to send it by post. Right? Also because you need this when you apply for a visa. Alright? You need to submit the original, not copies, not notarized copies, original copies to the embassy. Right? So once those things are ready, completed forms and all your academic and professional documents, including references from your teachers or your employers if you've got them, scan everything clearly, saved in JPEG, PDF, TIFF, or whatever readable format, right? Email it to me or to the college. I'm the person in charge for Philippine applicants because I need to be able to see that it's a genuine Philippine certificate, right? Once it's received in London, that's when you have completed your application already. Takes about 5 days to 2 weeks to process an application. During that time, you will receive a phone call from London for a telephone or a Skype interview. Alright? So if you've got Skype contact details on your CV, I will be able to get in touch with you and do a face-to-face interview. But because you're here, and if you're serious with studies, introduce yourself to me or to Lucy later, so that we do not have to do a Skype interview later on. Okay? If you're interested to apply already, the next intake is in February 2011. Right? That's in less than 3 months from now. The deadline for application is the 5th of January. Right? Immediately after New Year, you should have already submitted complete documents. If you're that serious, you should be able to prepare your show money or your funds in your account needed for visa application. If you've already done your research, the cost of living in the UK required by the Home Office or by the British government is £800 per month. Alright? You should have £800 per month for 9 months in your account for 28 days. In pesos, 7,200 pounds is about 550,000 pesos, depending on the exchange rate. This is just show money. This is the maintenance fund that you should maintain in your account for a consecutive 28 days. It cannot go a peso below that, but it can go many pesos above that. Alright? So once that's there in your account and you have already received an offer from the college, then you should pay already your initial deposit. Submit to us your updated passbook or your bank certificate, and then we issue the CAS, that's a CAS, Confirmation of Acceptance from the college. It makes up 30 points of your visa application out of 40, right? The 10 points is your submission of your passbook and your bank certificate to the embassy. Complemented with your original academic documents, our basis for accepting you in the first place, and then you will get your visa. Alright? So in 2 weeks from, once you get your visa, 2 weeks before class starts, you're in London already and you will be welcomed by us in London. So that's how easy it takes. In less than 1 month, you could already be in London. Alright? Is that clear? Questions? Okay, the question is if a parent's bank account be a sponsor for the show money or the fund maintenance. The answer is yes, you may show a parent's account, preferably a joint account with yourself and your mom. Then you also have to submit your original birth certificate to show your relationship with your mommy, and as an affidavit, a letter stating that mom is sponsoring daughter X amount for the duration of your studies. Yeah? Those things we can discuss when we are already in the process of visa application, but those things you should prepare for in advance. If you're interested in the Feb intake, you should already keep your money in your account as early as first week of December. Right? It's okay to borrow money as long as you're able to justify the loan, or if it's a joint account, that it's your parents' account with your mom's, with your birth certificate and your mom's letter. All right? Any further questions? Work. Do you want to know about work opportunities? Yes? Okay. Good thing about studying a degree course, a master's in MBA in business administration and MSc or a bachelor's, is that it's a degree course, right? If you take a certificate course, an advanced diploma, an ABE course, a short vocational course, that is not a degree course, hence you will not be allowed to work more than 10 hours per week. That's really, really small, 10 hours per week. But if you're doing a degree course, you double that. You are able to work 20 hours per week as a student during term time, during school time. Then you are allowed to work full-time during holiday periods and be eligible to apply for a post-study work visa after your studies. Right? A post-study work visa is a work visa that doesn't require sponsorship from any employer, meaning you are able to work any job you want in as many hours as you want in any company, any organization of your choice for 2 full years. Right? One example is myself. I did my MBA in London School of Commerce. After my degree, I actually started in June last year. I finished in June this year. It took about a month and a half to get the results from the university. Once I got this diploma on my hands, I applied already immediately for the post-study work visa. I had to keep £800 in my account for 3 consecutive months, not below 800. Could have been more, yes, so we could put in more money, but not less than 800 pounds. That's roughly mga 50,000 pesos now, right? So keep that in your account for 3 months, submit it together with your MBA results, with your application for a post-study work visa. In less than 2 weeks, I got my visa already. So now I'm on a work visa in the United Kingdom, right? And I can choose any job. I can have 3 jobs, 5 jobs, and it's fine. There's no limit how much I can earn, all right? So that's an example of what you can do after your master's, right? But If you're doing a degree or a course less than a degree, you cannot do that. You cannot apply for a work visa. You cannot work more than 10 hours. That's very clear. Okay? Another good thing about work is that if you're married, for example, or if you have children less than 18 years old, you are able to bring the dependents with you. All you need to do is present a bit more money when you apply for the visa to support your dependents. And your spouse or your dependents are able to work full-time if you are a degree student. If you are not a degree student, you may bring them, but they cannot work. You should be able to support them fully in the UK. Okay? In the UK, you always have to have a national insurance. At least maybe Lucy can explain that, but they monitor the number of hours you work, and they see this on the taxes you pay. All right?